Hi, this is Shane, and this is a video for Lab 1 Part 2. In this video, we'll talk about how to create a sketch, and I'll show you how to make the 3 tutorials. Alright, so first you would like to build a new modeling file. And before that, we have to, if you build a new file, the default will be on millimeter. So two things we can do to permanently fix this unit at inch. Okay, that's one thing, and the other thing we need to do. So do you want to go to Files and Utility, Customer Default? All right, in this menu, you want to go to well, that's the first tab here, Gateway General, and in this part tab, you want to change from millimeter to inch, and I think that's all you have to do. So once you change it to inches, every time you open NX, every time you build a new file, that will be on inch. Okay. Second thing you want to do is to turn off continuous auto dimensioning, which is very annoying. If you have started sketch already, you would see auto dimensioning. So how do you turn off auto dimensioning? We go to sketch and find inferred constraint and dimensions. In the dimension tab on the right, you want to clear this checkbox, this continuous auto dimensioning in design application. Okay, so once you clear this and hit OK, probably you need to reboot your NX. I have already disabled that, so I just go ahead and create a new file. Let's say Lab1, and I'll save to desktop. And as you can see, the inch is the default units. Okay, and let's jump to how to create a sketch. Okay. And you can look at the sketch, the slides. I'm just gonna operate in NX. So how to create a sketch? First, you have to have the coordinate system, or you have to have a solid with faces you can build your sketch on. So for a new file, we have this datum system, and if you look down here, that's the sketch button. So, and the bottom toolbar is your sketch toolbar, and we can hit this button, and once you're here, you have this dialog box, which will be there for all the commands in NX. Okay, and so you have a couple different parameters. Usually you don't have to play with them because this is like very basic command. As you can see, the orange color is here at the planar face or plane. So we can pick one of the datum plane here, XY plane. Sometimes it's hard to pick a plane if you move your cursor close to the origin. Like now, I don't know which one I'm picking up. Okay, so the trick is you can move your cursor to the corners of those datum planes. The further the corner that's further away from the origin. So just move here, that's XY plane. If I want to pick YZ plane, I'll just move to the top, the corner of that plane. So I'm gonna pick XY plane here. As you can see, there's number 1 already here. So I'm pretty much done, and sometimes you can specify your sketch origin. Of course, you have to click on this item. Then you can see now my sketch origin is on the absolute origin. You can also define this into some special location. Depends on your application. So I'm good now, just hit OK. Alright, now that will bring me to the sketch environment. you can tell from this finish sketch button, now it's highlighted. Before that's gray. And also here in the part navigator, you notice there's blue lines around your sketch icon. Okay, if I finish sketch, that's exiting the sketch environment. You see the icon is changed, and also this button is grayed out, as well as some command in the sketch toolbar. So let's go back to the first sketch by double clicking on the sketch. Now I'm in the sketch again, and F8 will take me back to the nearest view. Okay, so in sketch I'm gonna introduce some basic command to create a sketch. So straight line, that's very simple, just click, that's your start point. You don't have to hold your mouse button, just click once, then you can click the second time, that will finish this line. And as you can see, we have an arrow here that's the indication of horizontal constraint. So if I drop this line, as you can see, this is horizontal. There's the little blue section in the middle. That's actually a icon of constraint that indicates this line is horizontal. So, and as you can see, like all the CAD software, the point will snap to whatever geometry you have. So now I can start drawing another line, like start point, that's the midpoint, that's the end point. So now this vertical line is aligned with the end point of this horizontal line. Alright, now we need to exit this line command. So either you can click, or you can just pick another command right away. So the next command is profile. I guess this is probably unique to NX. So profile will draw lines and arcs continuously. So let's activate this command. As you can see, we have two object types, straight line or arc. The difference between this and the line commands is once you start the profile tool, it will not stop. Okay, so I have already dropped the end point of the first line. Now it comes to the second section. So this way you can continuously draw a geometry. Then on the way you can change that to an arc. By default, it will give you a tangent. Sometimes you want the arc to be normal to the line. Okay, so you can move your cursor back to this circle and pull out. If you pull out on the tangent direction, that will give you tangent. If you pull out to the left or right side of this line, that will be a normal direction. Okay, and once you drop the arc, it will go back to a straight line, because most of the time you don't need to draw arc continuously. Alright, now for the next section, you can see if you move your cursor around, there's this tangent sign showing up. So now if you click your mouse, this line and this arc will be tangent. Okay, and then this icon here indicates this is a tangent constraint. Okay. Alright, by the way, if you see dimension jumping out automatically, that means your auto dimensioning is on. Like the beginning of the video, if you haven't disabled that function, you can come here. That's continuous auto dimension. If you click once, it will enable auto dimensioning. Then your sketch will be like this. And if you click this once again, that will disable it. But all the dimensions are already there. Very annoying. How to delete them? you don't want to do this. Okay, so I'm gonna change the selection filter to dimension. Now I can box select everything here. It will only pick up dimensions. Then I can hit delete. Okay, now I have the freedom to give dimension myself. Okay. All right, now next tool is let's see. In here, mirror curve, and this command only shows up when your row is on advanced with full menu, which is here. Okay, if your menu is like simple, a big nice icon with names underneath it, you probably want to change this to advanced with full menu and come back to the third tab. Then you will have mirror curve in this menu. Otherwise, it's going to be very simple, only maybe 3 or 4 commands under this menu. All right. So mirror curve command is a little bit tricky because okay, if you notice here, okay, on the snap toolbar, once you click mirror curve, you see a new drop-down menu pop up. That's the curve rule. So because we are on this kind of command will ask you to pick up curves. So you have this curve rule to pick up curves, a single curve or connected curve, tangent curve, etc. So by default it's on, I think it's on connected curve. Let's say I have some geometry like this, and I want to reflect this geometry with respect to this vertical line. Okay. Then mirror curve. Okay, now it's asking me to select the curves. Okay, by default it's on connected curve. Okay, I want to hit this line. As you can see, everything's hit, including your symmetry axis. Then if you move down to the center line, and now you click your axis, you cannot pick it. Why? Because this line is on top of this. Okay, it's selected in the first selection. So the trick here is to draw the symmetry axis away from your geometry. That's the best thing to do. Just don't need this. When you draw this geometry, draw the symmetry axis away from. Don't let this line touch the geometry you want to mirror. So now if we do a mirror curve again, connected curve, pick this, then you can pick center line. Okay, now we'll give you a review of this mirror. And so that's one thing. Another method is if you happen to have everything in the first entry here, okay, you can deselect. You can change this to single curve and hold down Shift key and click on the line. That will deselect from this first selection. Then you can move down and pick the center line. So a lot of operations here are similar to Windows. You can hold down Shift and click to deselect. You can, like in the Part Navigator, you can hold down Control key and multi-select. Okay. Also, you can hold down Shift to select a range of items. So you can play around with that. And by the way, you also, of course, you have Control Z as undo in this. All right, and another thing is, I think by default this one's checked, and once you let's say once you mirror this this geometry, the center line is not a solid line anymore because this setting is on by default. So by default, it will look like this. The setting is not shown here, and actually you can turn off this. But let's just show you what's default in X. Once you click OK here, the center line or the symmetry axis will become a reference line. The reference line will not get involved in creating 3D solid. So even if you want to extrude this line, you cannot pick this up. Okay. So that's the mirror curve command. Now, next command is the as I said, the reference line. You can convert a line to or from reference. Sometimes you need a reference to make your drawing a lot better, faster. Let's say if I want to draw something here away from the sketch origin, and you don't have a center line here, right? On the origin you have XY axis, which is very easy or convenient. But if I want to draw something symmetric here, you probably just want to drop two reference lines like so. So I have two active lines. That's what they call those lines. So now they're active, and I can click and click. I want them both to be reference line. Then you can come down here, convert to reference. Now they are reference lines. Then of course we have this intersection point as your another origin, or you can use those two lines as symmetry axis. Alright, and you can turn them back. Just do this again, use that command. Another quick shortcut is once you click the line on any curve, any object, you will have a quick menu. Okay, like it's showing up. If you don't click it and click something else, it's gone. And most of the time you have anything you want. Those are very frequently used command in here. You have this convert to active. You don't need to go deep down in this menu to find it. Okay, and you can give dimensions. You can move the object. Okay, all right. Now we have been talking about geometries a lot, but now we need to really make some serious sketch. Okay, so by doing that, you really you need a dimension for your geometry. So let's look at the tutorials. Let's start from this tutorial. Okay, so we have introduced the profile tool, mirror curve, and convert to reference, and then there are other commands. We can introduce them on the way during this creation of those tutorials. So if you look at this geometry, it's symmetric, x, y, or x and y, two directions. They're both symmetric. So it's a good idea to put the origin sketch right in the center of this geometry. So some people will put this on the lower left corner. It's not bad, but it's not recommended. Okay. Now we can start with profile tool to draw this shape, or you can say this is actually a big rectangle. You have a small rectangle inside, and you have two rectangles on the side cut into this big rectangle. Right? So that's what I'm going to do, and that's a 50 by 80 rectangle. Now let's introduce rectangle command. It's very simple. So Let's just start. Okay, so you can have different types to build this rectangle. The first one is pretty simple. Just click at the corner and you click at the another corner. The width is 80. There are two methods you can draw geometry in general. You can first draw the geometry, then add dimension to define the size of this geometry. The second method is you can type in the length, the size, the dimension on during the way on the fly. So I haven't did the second click yet. You can type in your width, which is 80, and now you have to hit enter. Now the width is fixed, as you can see. I cannot change that. And for the height, we can type in 50 and hit enter. Now the whole thing is fixed. Even though I'm moving my cursor, it will not move. Now all you need to do is just click. Now you can see the difference. If I entered dimensions on the fly, then you will have dimensions here. For the first rectangle, I didn't, so there's no dimension. Or in case you didn't turn off the auto dimensioning, okay, you will have some dimension given by the software. Alright, now we have this rectangle tool, rectangle geometry. We can move it. Okay, so next command or trick to introduce is moving object. You can simply just drag it, use your left mouse button like you drag any file in Windows. And this rectangle will not change size because we have dimensions already. But for this one inside, if I drag this line, it's changing. Okay, and if you don't want this to change, you can pick all of them, then drag. And there is a formal way to do move object. Just click, and that's your move object command. Or right click on the object, you can see that's move object. And here you have a lot more different method. Instead of just translation in the dragging, you can do distance, angle, all the stuff. You can try them out. I'm not gonna show this. Alright, so we have introduced the move object, a rectangle. What's next? Alright, we need some dimensions, right? We can't always have, typing dimensions as we create geometries. So that's the command for dimension, infer dimensions. Of course, deep down in this menu, you have all different kinds of dimensions. But to me, 99% of the time, I just use infer dimension. Okay, so infer dimension, it's like a smart tool. If you click a line, that will be the length of the line. Okay, see that? And you can click the second time to put down the dimension. Now in here, you can type in number. And as you can see in this slide, the smaller rectangle is 20 inches in height. So 20. And you can just click something else or continue. But I can also recommend you, after you type in the length, you want to hit enter. Now you can have a review of how big your dimension is. And also, in this window, you can type in variables and equations. As you can see, we have P0 equals to 80, and then that's P1 equals 50. So I can quote those variables p1, and this is 20, so that will be p1 minus 30. Okay, and sometimes it's useful because, like, if you want to keep this line, the length of this line is 30 inches less than p1. Okay, so once you change p1, it will always be 30 inches less than p1. And let's change that back to 20. So there are a lot potentials or applications in this small window. Okay, now let's make it 30 for the top line, so that's 30 inch. And as I said, inferred dimension is also a smart tool. Besides the length of the line, if you click this line first, then you click the second line, which is parallel. That will give you the distance between them. Okay, so the distance between them is there. That's 10 inch. So we can just type in 10 inch. Okay, well, I made a mistake. That's from this side. Anyway, that's how you gave this like distance between two objects. Of course, you have a lot of more different type. If I pick this line and this vertical line, they're not parallel. That will be angle. And if I pick y-axis and this line, that's still distance between two parallel lines or vectors. Okay, and you can use inferred dimension for points. Okay, not necessarily on a line. You can click on a point and next point. See, that's the vertical or horizontal distance. You will be able to pull out this diagonal distance. Okay, I cannot do that because I already have enough dimension on that rectangle. So now it's turning red, which is over constrained. You just delete that. That's now it's pretty easy. All right, now we have the big rectangle and the small rectangle. We're going to create those two cutouts. So that's again two rectangles. I'm going to drop them. Okay, at random distance, random dimension. Then you can look at the size. It's 30 on height, and the width doesn't matter because you're going to cut them off. So as long as it's 30, that'll be fine. Okay, 30. And you want to move your geometry to get some general shape close to what you want. Okay, now we have those boxes. Now I'm going to introduce two commands: quick trim and a quick extend. Quick trim looks like an eraser. So let's look at this command. You don't have to worry about this. By default, whatever you click is whatever you want to delete, and it will trim off a line between two objects. So you have the intersection here, it will trim off the line between them. And we can do the same for this side. You can click or you can drag a path. Okay, anything on this path, it will delete. Okay, now we get the geometry we want fairly quickly by using this quick trim command. And just to demonstrate, I can use quick extend command. Sometimes you see, okay, I draw some line, but it's away from, didn't close the box. Okay, you probably would think, okay, I can put another line here to close this box. That's not a good idea. It's always good to have less lines, the minimal line. So here I can extend this line to close this up. Okay, and I can Control Z to get my geometry back. Now if you look at this, we still need some dimensions, right? And let's say for this you need a lot more dimension than you can see in this sketch, because in this sketch we default things like this line, the horizontal line is equal to this horizontal line. However, like this line is not equal to this one right now, and you need, let's say I put 30" here, and you need another 30" here. That's a lot of dimensions put on, and in here you only have one. Okay, so how do you constrain the other line with only one dimension? You need geometric constraint, okay, which is down here, geometric constraints. That's in lab 2, so we're going to end this lab 1 first, since we have introduced a lot commands already, and we'll introduce geometric constraint in lab 2. Okay, so in conclusion, in sketch we introduced the profile, then rectangle tools, mirror curve, okay, and quick trim, quick extend. Then you have invert dimensions. You can convert your active line into reference lines. By the way, you can also convert your dimension to reference dimensions, which only tells you how long the line is. It will not drive the actual size of the lines. Okay, so before I end this video for lab 1, we have to finish this tutorial, right? So I'm gonna finish sketch first, then we can build this solid geometry. And as you rotate, this is something extra. As you rotate, you can see my geometry got cut off. Okay, so let's proceed to extrude first. How to extrude? It's on the top left, and once you click, that's another dialog box. So in here, select a curve. Okay, you can pick well, in this curve rule, by default it will be region boundary curve, I think. So anyway, once you active extrude command in X for first time, it will be on this, and you just simply click on the sketch, then it'll extrude the sketch for you. And here you can define the value, the distance. Okay, that's the distance away from your sketch. 0 means right at the sketch. So you can say it's extrude 15". You can say 15 to 0, or you can also do from 0 to 15. It's the same. Okay, and sometimes you can just simply drag the handle in the middle. Right, that's the handle. You can just drag it. Okay, the stop is 1", as you can see. So that's pretty neat. And sometimes you can also extrude symmetrically. You can change this value to symmetric value. Okay, as you can see, the sketch is right in the middle of the solid. Now I'm gonna change this back. That's also you need to change the distance back. And once you change the distance, the geometry will not change. You have to hit enter to see the review. Okay, and by the way, you have Boolean operation here. If you have another solid touching this solid, you can use unite to make them as one piece. Okay, and I'm gonna finish this command. So we have this solid, and the cutoff problem is still there. It's not like the geometry has some problem, it's the display of the software. So you can fix that by using fit command or Control F. Okay, that will show everything on the screen. Also, it will refresh the display of the software. So there you go. That's the first tutorial, and we have introduced a lot of commands in the sketch. Okay, you can try them out, and we'll go to Lab 2.